Hello, and welcome to a special edition of View from the Bleachers. I'm Tim Jones, and I've lived in major metro areas my entire life. Albany, New York, Columbus, Ohio, Miami, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and most recently Seattle. And they all had one disturbing characteristic in common: high levels of crime. Every year it seems that the rates of homicides, drug-related incidents, home break-ins, road rage, and jaywalking continue to go up. Now, I hate to admit it, but even I eventually succumbed to my base criminal instincts. Last summer I paid for 3 hours of parking in downtown Seattle, but I left my car on the spot for 3 hours and 12 minutes. I know, I should have turned myself in. It's something that will eat away at my conscience for the rest of my life. So when my wife and I moved to a small, idyllic community, population about 15,000, I was relieved that we'd finally escaped the urban world of unbridled crime. Or had we? Because lurking underneath this semi-rural community's deceptive facade of serenity, I've discovered an insidious underbelly of rampant crime. Here's a recent photo of our town's sheriff after he apprehended a dangerous criminal who had been scoping out one of the bars in our community, no doubt with a nefarious motive. The other day, I saw the 6 o'clock local newscast, and I have to tell you, it scared the hell out of me. All the crimes that you will hear about actually happened in my island community. I'll let you hear about it for yourselves on the other side. Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News. I'm your anchor, Brad Newsington. A lot of news to cover, so let's get started. Yesterday, mail was stolen from 115 Paradise Lane. The homeowner is only asking that the perpetrator please return the Wednesday flyer section of the paper. There was a 2-for-1 coupon on flank steak that she had planned to use. The whereabouts of the suspect is still unknown. Police responded to a possible domestic disturbance earlier today at 47 Tranquility Court when a resident reported hearing a loud-pitched screaming and shouting emanating from their next-door neighbor's domicile. After a brief investigation, officers have concluded that the resident had misplaced his hearing aid and had in fact been watching an episode of The Price is Right at full volume. No charges were filed. Late this afternoon, there was a small fender bender between two vehicles when they collided at the intersection of Pleasant Road and Peaceful Street because one car failed to yield at the stop sign. Nobody was hurt, and the drivers exchanged insurance information over coffee at the IGA grocery store. The offending driver offered to pay for both drinks, but the other person said no thank you, though he appreciated the generous offer. It turns out that they both go to the exact same barber. We will keep you updated as further details emerge. An 87-year-old woman named Ethel Willoughby, who lives at 11 Dandelion Lane, called police to report that her 16-year-old granddaughter Chelsea had run away. After a brief investigation, police were able to locate Chelsea in a tree. Chelsea, it turns out, was the woman's 16-year-old calico cat. She does not actually have any grandchildren. Chelsea, normally a well-behaved lap cat who likes sitting in Ethel's lap while they watch Judge Judy together, has been grounded and lost all cell phone privileges for an entire week. A suspicious teenager was spotted deliberately throwing a baseball at a residential window at 42 Eagles Nest Terrace. We don't have actual footage of the crime, so this is an artist's rendering of what it might have looked like. The ball shattered the window. The homeowner, who has asked to remain nameless, is not pressing charges, since it turns out the suspect was later identified as his middle child, Nathan, who was just playing catch with his friend David and made an errant throw. Earlier this evening, police responded to a heated argument between Carla Jacobson and her 11-year-old son, Jeremy, at 33 Happy Hedgehog Trail. A SWAT team was called in as a security precaution. The exact nature of the dispute was not divulged, though it reportedly had something to do with the son being told he could not watch any more TV until he finished his homework. Things appear to be stable now, and the SWAT team was eventually called off after Jeremy apologized for calling his mother the B word and started doing his homework. We believe that he's working on a math assignment involving fractions, but that has yet to be confirmed. Marvin Picklesworth, an 82-year-old resident of 219 Nothing Ever Happens Here Way, reported that his lawnmower was stolen, and he informed police that he suspected his 77-year-old neighbor Jerry Muldowney, with whom he had gotten into a dispute as to over who should win on American Idol. Marvin called the police late this afternoon to report that in fact he had found his mower. It was in his backyard shed, right where he left it. Claiming to have had a senior moment, he reluctantly decided not to press charges against his annoying neighbor, but is going to think twice about lending Jerry his power washer. Officers spotted a 13-year-old boy who had been shouting in a local community park about how much he loved some girl named Natalie in his 7th grade class. He was apparently causing quite the disturbance to onlookers. Upon police questioning, the boy admitted to consuming his very first beer, and he was feeling the effects of an alcohol buzz. He later threw up on his father's laptop. No charges were pressed, but his dad's laptop appears to be taking forever to load web pages ever since the mishap. An unnamed female high school student walking down Crime Is Unheard of Around Here Drive was approached by a suspicious-looking older man driving unusually slowly in what she described as a creepy-looking van, and she called police. After a brief investigation, police identified the creepy man as Barney Mueller, the island's only remaining good-humor ice cream truck man, just making his usual rounds, as he's been doing for the past 35 years. That Barney, such a kook, isn't he? Police responded to a call from the local IGA grocery that 2 suspicious youths, aged 22 and 21, shoplifted several candy bars and a bag of Cheetos. An hour later, police were unable to locate any of the candy or the Cheetos, although both youths, when questioned, appeared to have suspiciously orange fingers and what appeared to be orange stains on their t-shirts. That's the latest breaking news. We'll have our 5-day AccuWeather forecast after this commercial message from our sponsor, View from the Bleachers, which reminds you to subscribe to its YouTube channel, and if you do, you just might win a new 2021 BMW convertible. Probably not, but hey, what do you got to lose?